All right. Hello, everybody. Sound check. This is a sound check. If somebody could let me know if you can hear me and how's the sound? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. The Apocalypse. Welcome as a new member. Bev River Girl. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got Lori Ingram, Kelly, Alice there. Kimberly Walker. Oh. Come on in the house. Come on, come on. All right, Kelly. Kelly can hear me. Awesome, awesome. Wow. Good to see you. Great to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Looking good, looking good. Everything's looking good. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Gina. Happy Thursday to everyone. Hope you had an excellent week, a stress-free week, if there is a such thing. Oh, welcome, welcome. Hey, Denny. Welcome. Hope you all had a fine week. A great 4th of July. Big plate of barbecue. Oh, I'm hearing you in Scotland. Alice there. Welcome. I got to put Scotland on my list then. All right. Hello to everybody in Scotland. Everyone in the UK and Canada, Australia, our Brits. Hello to everyone in South Africa. My love to Cape Town. All right. Shout out to everybody in Brazil. We got a good mix of countries, viewers now. Very good mix of countries. And so we got Scotland in the house now. Whoa. Woo. Anti-crimer. Hello, 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 everybody. Good to see you. Good to see you. We're going to get started. I'm going to wait another 2 minutes. I wanted to say thank you to everybody. I had a list of new members, and I'm not sure if this is the most recent, but I believe it is. All right, so say hello to our newest members, the Apocalypse, Elwing W, Brenda, Jennifer S, Miss Potts, Tina B, Lisa Athens, I don't know if I'm reading that right, Tam Ara, Laura Ingram, and K Dub. All right, a virtual round of applause for you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming aboard, helping us solve these crimes. All right. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome. Good to see everybody. I think I'm going to mix it up here to where I usually start out with a certain part of my material. But I think today I'm going to mix it up. I just don't want to rush into it and then a few people come that I pretty much expect to come and then they missed a lot of it. We might get Robin Latham. Special shout out to Robin. I mean, any way that you can support a channel, Robin's done it. And I just thank God for her, honestly. It's like she's like a guardian angel. All right. Thank you. Much love to all of my members. Honestly, I have some that have really, really shown that they want to see the channel do good, and even that they care about me, and I appreciate that. I really do. All right, who we got? Stephanie Elazar. Welcome, Stephanie, as a moderator. Everyone say hello to Stephanie. All right, so it's 8:51. I'm going to go ahead and get started in case some people have other things to do, okay? Because we got a lot of ground to cover. Hello, Lycurgus. Hello, Lycurgus. I'm going to start loading the content. All right. Now, hopefully you can see. It should be loading now, the change in the screen. And we're going to start with the state's motion to compel discovery, the response, a couple of items there I wanted to talk about. And we'll be sure to get to some of your favorite topics also. All right. Let's see. Oh, we got Elwing in the house. Hello, Elwing. All right. All right. Now, on the subject of much love, Lycurgus. On the subject of the officer training. Okay, a lot of people have said, hey, I really doubt law enforcement is involved in this. And then the Brady Giglio came out. Remember that? I'm going to Moscow on Wednesday. Oh, Lycurgus, I have a first-hand reporter there. I have somebody first-hand. Shout out to Lycurgus. He's going to Moscow on Wednesday. How about that for some first-hand information and photos? Woo! That's right. Shout out to Lycurgus. Oh, Robin did make it. Hey, Robin. Good to see you. We're just getting started. All right. Now, a lot of people were saying they don't think law enforcement would do these types of things, the type of stuff that people are saying they would have to have done. Oh, I missed One Made a Nut. Shout out to One Made a Nut. I'm on time. All right. I almost didn't see you up there. Hey, One Made a Nut. Okay, what was I saying? Oh, the training officers. Okay, a lot of people were saying we don't think the police are involved because, all right, you know, that's a big step to say that law enforcement is involved in a cover-up, a murder, or any type of crime. I mean, really it is. And so I understood that. But then the Brady Giglio came out And then they were speculating on which officer it was. Seems like we on repeat. We're right back in that same place again, like deja vu. Because now, with the officer training, it's 3 of them. And we're like, the officers again. All right, so the best thing to do is to, look at the evidence and see who's telling the truth. Because we can't build theory and we can't come to an intelligent verdict on this case without using only facts and truth. And nobody gets it right all the time. But in our speculation, we can eliminate the stuff that's just outrageous, that just couldn't happen, and stuff that we can prove, we keep that. Stuff that we can even close to prove, we keep that. Now, with these 3 officers, here's what I have to say about that. In my opinion, and everything we say in this video is just entertainment, just people getting together, giving their opinions. Nobody's stating fact or defaming anyone. Okay, I believe that we can look at the PCA and tell that these officers are not going to pass the sniff test. Now, if the PCA was well written and sounded like some intelligent, rational people wrote it, it would be up in the air. But we can see from the PCA that these officers are not going to pass the sniff test for training. We already have the answer. We don't have to speculate on this one, folks. We don't have to speculate. We have the PCA. We've got the DNA, how many times it passed hands. For them to try to corner somebody that they claim they have without a shadow of a doubt, 100% evidence is him before they even did his DNA. Okay, I have a problem that they can't admit their own DNA evidence. They can't bring it into trial. So if your key evidence can't be brought into trial, we already know what the result of this training and the angle is going to be. I mean, let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. We already know. Hey, Ray Annette P. Hey, Annette. Shout out to Ray Annette. I'm going to try to keep up with you guys with the shout outs tonight. But I have a lot of material. And I want to get all of it out. Okay? First shout out, I think. Is this the first one? Ray Annette. Okay. We already know. Now let's see what this says. First of all, I want to go strictly to the training part. I might have to read it from here. Okay, number 3. No. Number 6. My mistake. Number 6. All right. Number 6 says the state respectfully submits that training records of specific officers, and look at how that's framed. We got my famous ... that I love so much. And then they have specific officers in quotations. So they want you to notice that the training records aren't for the whole department, but it's for specific people. Are outside the scope of ICR 16 unless and to the extent that the officers will be offering expert testimony which is discoverable under ICR 16B10. Now, my question is, do the officers know anything? Assuming that law enforcement is not involved in the actual crime and the police didn't even show up and weren't even called until 12 o'clock, do they know anything? And the reason I say that, because of course they help handle the evidence. But I'm saying, what would they know if they got there at 12 o'clock and these murders probably jumped off anywhere from 2:56 to 3:15 in the morning? So, I mean, what would the officers know to where they can give expert testimony? And then when you look at it, they're asking about interviewing the witnesses. So I don't think it's more trying to catch them on a technicality for not handling the evidence right or not handling something right. That's a given. We already know they're not going to pass the sniff test on that. I'm talking about interviewing Dylan and Bethany, the specific officers, and the fact that the defense wants to know because of them interviewing two specific witnesses. Now, why do I say that? All right. First of all, I can just off the record just say, look at the subpoena for Bethany and how that's supposed to be exculpatory. Why do you think they're saying that it's exculpatory for Bethany's statement? You know why? Because they know the officers are not going to pass the sniff test, and this is who they interviewed. So I believe from this paper and the one before that, let's see, what document was that? Who is that? All right, we got Jennifer S. Shout out to Jennifer. Hello, Jennifer S. I'm sorry, I was reading my document. I couldn't see who came in. I might have missed some people. I have to go back, or I'll see you. Kimberly Walker. Welcome, everybody. I'm saying the officers that interviewed the girls, I believe these are the three, the ones that really are going to stand out in this case. Now, the DNA is really not a big deal anymore because it's not admissible. It's not that they don't want to bring it to trial. They can't bring it to trial. There are so many things wrong with it. And I'm going to show you something else that I saw here. On page 2, number 2. Page 2, number 2. It says numerous lab reports regarding forensic evidence collection and analysis of items recovered from the defendant's parents' home, trash cans, and other receptacles and defendant's vehicle have been disclosed to the defendant. These reports include items from the FBI laboratory in Quantico, Virginia, as well as the Idaho State Police lab. Okay, we're talking about forensic evidence. And here we have the same tricks of the trade as the PCA. FBI laboratory in Quantico, Virginia. Well, what are you putting that in there for? What are you putting that in there for? Because at the end of the day, the DNA ended up being family tree stuff. And this wasn't done in the FBI lab. It was done by going on some public site like Ancestry.com. So it sounds very impressive. FBI, Quantico, Virginia. And then they're talking about forensic evidence and labs. For what? You went on Ancestry.com. Why are we talking about the FBI laboratory at Quantico, Virginia? The FBI agent that did this on Ancestry.com probably wasn't even in Virginia when he did it. He could have been anywhere on his laptop, off duty. He could have been over here at my house using Ancestry.com. Who's to say he wasn't? So what are they putting this Quantico, Virginia FBI in the middle, smack dab in the middle of this paragraph about forensic evidence and lab reports? Because FBI did a family tree using a site that anybody can add information to. And that's pretty informal. That's as public and informal as you can get. Now let me start reading some of these comments. Yes, because the request for more all officers would be too broad. Ann Taylor wanted them to know she means business and know exactly what she is looking for. Shout out to Stephanie. I think it's even more than that, Stephanie. I think it's even more than that. She knows exactly why she wants to talk to those three. Training records, my eye. She knows exactly what. And Bethany Funk is a part of it. All right? And because police misconduct or not mishandling the evidence, some of that stuff is grounds for dismissal. You can find one little small hair that's out of place in the way law enforcement handles a case, and they'll come down on them so hard. One person can make a mistake, and they'll go back and throw out cases where people were convicted from that person years or months before. They'll go and pull all the folders of people that they locked up and let them out because somebody made a mistake in one case, and then they find that officer or that judge or that person in the system didn't do something right and couldn't be depended on. You know, they'll go back and throw out a string of cases on that same person behind one mistake. So that's a very, very key strategy. Did they really ask probing questions? Kimberly Walker. Shout out to Kimberly. I mean, well, let's think about it. You got 4 people dead in the house, deceased. You got a crowd of young people telling you they just found it. What in the world would an officer say to the surviving victims, the kids in the crowd? What would they say? Now let's keep in mind that for a while, that's all those kids had was the responding officers that came at 11:58, because Payne and Corbett didn't get there until 4:30. We know Gunderson replied, he answered the call. It was him and Nunez, I believe, and one other one. And when they went, according to Gunderson, he was not expecting a quadruple murder. He was actually expecting somebody to be passed out, and maybe from alcohol or whatever. He was not expecting what he got. And so until 4:30, that's all they had was the responding officers. They didn't have a detective to talk to. And then they said Officer Chief Fry was out of town, and Opie and his colleague got there at 4:30. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out they're not going to pass the sniff test for officer training. Because the first 48 hours are crucial in any homicide. You don't have 3 hours, 3.5 hours to blow, 4.5 hours to blow. You just don't. As soon as the responding officers got there and realized they had 4 students who had lost their lives and that it was brutal, and that you got a crowd of people out here looking, and possibly some of them have been in there looking at what happened, taking pictures. This is urgent. Somebody called 911 at 11:58. They probably got there at about 12:07, 12:10, or 12:05. And as soon as they saw what they had, it was on. 48 hours. 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 48 How do you have unless you are at another murder scene, how do you have 4.5 hours to spend, twirling and twee dipping through the tulips until you finally decide to show up on the scene? What could you possibly be doing for 4.5 hours in that little small town? You can get across it in about 20 minutes, 15 minutes. That's a small town. If you can get across it and out of there in about 15 minutes, 20 minutes at the most, that's a small town. What could you possibly be doing? What could you possibly be doing that you took 4.5 hours, and when you arrive, now you only have 43 and a half. Now you only have 43 and a half hours to solve the case. You just got there, you know nothing. You lost 4.5 hours. I know that's got to be in the training handbook, and if it's not, it's in the street training handbook that you don't show up to your crime scene 4.5 hours later. I'm just saying. They're not going to pass that. They're not going to pass that sniff test. Tina Velez. Shout out to Tina. I know you. I didn't see you. Good to see you. Glad to see you, Tina. Have you seen the new tape of Linda Lane? I've seen the tape of a car pulling into that parking garage or whatever it is in front of the apartments. I mean, after 4 a.m. And so yes, to answer your question, first of all, yes, I have seen it. Thank you. Because some of the stuff y'all asked me about, I haven't seen it. Unless you send it to me. I get a lot of emails every day, but I don't get documents. Nobody sends me documents, and nobody sends me, there was something else I was thinking about. But I do get a lot of YouTube clips. If it's on a clip, most likely one of my members or subscribers have sent me a copy of it. A lot of the stuff that first hits within an hour or two, I already have it. I mean, I may not even be online, and I see a notification. Somebody sent me the information. So I can't complain because I get great information every day. Bubbly Waters, Robin. Let's see, who else is giving some great stuff here? I don't want to call out anybody's real name, but I get a lot of Gina, Stephanie, Elazar, Swamp Chick, Swamp Side Chick. I get a lot of good stuff from you guys. Yeah, in my email. So thank you, the people I just named, for sending the great information. Keep it coming. But back to the tape. The car has a tinted window, which we know eliminates Brian Kohlberger, but it doesn't necessarily eliminate the perpetrators. What does eliminate the perpetrators is the time. Because it's dark on those surveillance footage. The car might be white, or it might be a light colored car that looks white on the camera. We don't even know if it's white. But I'm just saying, from the timeline, it doesn't fit. Because according to the PCA, the perpetrator has to be entering the house at 4:07 or 4:08. And this car is across the grass. And I didn't see the person get out. I didn't watch the whole thing. I just watched enough to look at the vehicle, see how it looked. The person didn't get out immediately, just jump out and run. So the clock is ticking. There's no way they could get over to the house, get in the house, because that's questionable. We talked about that in my latest video. How did they get in the house? And then commence to go upstairs and get their hands on Maddie and Kaylee in a matter of almost what would have to be seconds. So I have to rule that car out as just part of this crime scene, unless there was more than one white car involved, unless these people did walk or whatever. But just offhand, Tina, I would say that this car is not related. Another reason I say that, I believe that by 4 o'clock, all of the Idaho 4 were deceased already. I don't believe the crime started at 4. A lot of these theories, like the ones I did in these past 3 or 4 videos, are based on what the PCA told us. Whether I believe it or not, that's the way I put the reenactment together to see if what they're saying holds water. And the PCA, the thing that had this guy arrested, so it needs to be right. The PCA gives a timeline, does not afford somebody that was committing a crime to be somewhere else after 4 o'clock. If they weren't in that car driving up King Road at 4:04, 4:05, 4:06, if that wasn't them, they probably weren't involved in the crime unless they walked. So that's my take on that one. All right. Shout out to Leslie V. Hey, Leslie. All right. JL Spraggins. What? Shout out to JL. Wow. Good to see you, JL. Good, sir. All right. Now, let's see. Alice there. Why is there no footage of the girls getting home? If they had let off cars and lights, how do they know it happened the way they're putting out? Shout out to Alice there. I'm going to give you the first brain over there in Scotland. Okay, Scotland got the first brain. Because I've been wondering this sort of from a different angle from the longest. The girls disappear off camera on Main Street, and from there we're taking what's being told to us as the gospel. Like them being home at 1:56. When we see them on the grub truck timestamp at 1:56. How can we just say, okay, we saw Jack turn around and going about his business, but the girls just disappear off the camera? What if they got more footage? That's all they're showing us. What if the guy that claims he took them home didn't take them home? What if he took them somewhere else first? What if they didn't even get a ride home? And by 2:52, they were calling Jack to come get them. I'm just saying, what if? We're taking it as the gospel. What happened after they left the camera where we can see with our own 2 eyes? We don't know what happened. And I personally do not trust the driver, the private driver, that claims he reported Brian's car and he took the girls home all the time and he lives a mile away from Brian Kohlberger. I don't trust him as far as this computer screen. And so we have to take his word for what happened. That's scary. And that I thought they weren't going to use the DNA, but now I'm hearing that subject coming up. Shout out to Ray Annette. Well, first of all, in order to use the DNA, it has to be admissible. The way you got it has to be admissible. They knew from the beginning. They were telling us in supplemental disclosures from day one that, hey, this DNA is no good, but we're using it for right now. Don Daniel said in supplemental disclosure, the word exculpatory and DNA shouldn't be in the same sentence way back 4 months ago, 5 months ago. They were telling us from the beginning that this DNA is no good, but the way we're working it, we're going to be able to get some things using it until we can't use it anymore. They told us that from the beginning. They said, hey, If you feel like this DNA is no good, don't consider it as the main probable cause for this warrant. It's right there in black and white. They were telling us from day one that this DNA is not going to stand up in court. All right? That's right, Kimberly Walker. Exactly. DNA already supposed to not be used. They said it in court. They said it in the probable cause affidavit and when they supplemented it. Oh, Scotland Yard in the house. We got a Brit. Woo. Shout out to Elwing. See if I can find a British flag for you and find a Scottish flag for, hold on a second. UK. I'm trying to, hold on a second. All right. I don't even see it and it's taking me too long. So I'll go with something else, a better idea. Usually I can find them. All right, I don't see it. So let's see. I give you a detective. Since Scotland Yard is about investigation. How about that? All right. Star Sus in the house. Why can't we know who the private driver is? Well, they say that it's this guy. He gave his name. He gave several interviews. Several. Shout out to Star Sorcerer. They say, he says that he took him home. First it was an Uber driver. Then they said it wasn't an Uber driver, it was a private driver. And this guy's in the news saying he tipped off police, saying he lived a mile away from Brian Kohlberger. That's what he said. That's what he said. Micah Z. Shout out to Micah. All right, Micah said, I don't know that answer. If drinking and drugs were involved, you never know what can happen. All right, that's true. But, I mean, people are saying drugs. I keep hearing drugs. Accidents happen, okay? True enough, accidents happen. But I'm just saying, if it was drug related, it was no reason to gouge these kids. It seemed like it was more than that. There's something ritualistic about this, that these kids weren't just, I mean, if somebody got really pissed off, they could have just shot somebody and shut them up. Or they could have shot them and covered up the crime very quickly and got on out of there. But for somebody to take the time to mutilate these kids the way they did, I feel that there has to be more to it than drugs. Because drug dealers don't go around mutilating people with knives. When you owe the drug man or you steal from him, they send a car by your house. Or they send somebody in there with a gun. And everybody's dead. Drug dealers don't leave survivors. I'm going to put that in the chat. Drug dealers don't leave survivors in a house. I don't care who you're related to. They don't. Drug dealers do not leave survivors. And I heard that some of the organs were taken out. What's that? You know, I'm just saying. While everybody's saying, "Oh, it was a party house." Oh, it was drugs. Oh, well, what they need with the organs then? I think this is a heart. What did they need with the organs? Some people are saying, and his hands had cuts on them. I don't believe that rumor. I think y'all must be talking about Koberger, deceased already. Okay, let me see what's going on here. Y'all socializing. I'm still curious why the PCA said suspect. Oh yeah, right. Shout out to Leslie, because like I said, it was probably more than one white car. Are you caught on to that too, huh? Because who? I mean, they told us it's Koberger. So you only have one suspect. You only have one suspect. So why are the vehicles numbered and you only have one suspect? That's crazy. That's absolutely nuts. Audrey Cake's in the house. All right. Hey, Audrey. Good to see you. Good to see you. Much love. All right. So let's see. Yes, we need brains from Scotland and the UK to help us figure this mess out. That's right, Robin. Shout out to Robin. Shout out to Robin Latham. We need the Scots and the Brits. Yeah. Where's Canada? We usually have Canada out front with the UK. What's going on? Where's Canada in here? Speak up. We need you. All right, now, condescending, smearing at us. I'm not sure what you mean, Kim. Kimberly Walker. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Okay, the private driver's name, I had it. I think it's in my email. JL. LE put all their eggs in one Elantra. All right, you get a brain, JL. I miss you. I'm so glad to see you. You get a brain for that. That was too clever. Now, they only had one suspect. They only had one car they're chasing, his. And they only have one timeline with 9 minutes. So they did put all their eggs in one basket. And that's going to be a downfall because Chief Fry got on TV and said he's 100% sure that this is the guy. This is before they even really had this guy's phone number or DNA for 24 hours or whatever. They barely even knew who he was. They barely even knew who he was. It takes time to research a guy. What? Hard truth, I heard what you said. We're not socializing. Now listen, I didn't say that in a bad way. I'm glad everybody's in here talking to each other and stuff. That's cool. But sometimes when I look, I have two different screens here. I'm streaming from a streaming software that's separate from my browser. So when I read and interact, I'm looking on a different screen than I look at when I see this chat. I don't see it all at the same time. I think I should clear that up. Okay? See, like right now, I'm scrolling up and down this sheet of paper. But I can't see the chat because I'm looking at a different screen. So I can't see a word you're saying until I get, move it. And this is a pretty big screen that I'm using right here. But I can't see it all at one time. I probably could squeeze it, but no, I'm not going to do that. All right. All right. Okay, fine. Kick me. Things need said. What's wrong? I don't understand. I didn't understand what you said. Oh, let's see. But I think this weirdo, the biggest one, tried to eat. Oh my goodness. Need physicians to harvest organs. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Elwing. That's true. That's true. That's true. All right, who got the chickens? Let me see. Thank you. Thank you, RG Cakes, for a super sticker, $1.99. Whoop, whoop. Y'all like my train sound I came up with? Whoop, whoop. Sound like a train, doesn't it? I know. Thank you, RG. I need to have some music to play when y'all grab a sticker. I need to do it. All right. Who is this with the chicken? Stephanie. Got not when I suggested. I'm not sure what you're saying. Got knocked when I suggested more. One leg hopping around. Jennifer S. And no reward. All right. Carly Miles. Shout out to Carly. And Audrey. Did I give Audrey a shout out for the super sticker? No, I did not. All right. Thank you, Audrey. Audrey Case, let me finish your shout out. Okay. So pretty with the hearts and diamonds. All right. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Carly Miles, mutilated bodies. Someone was enjoying the bloody mess. Exactly. Evidently, they were enjoying it for a long time. Evidently, for a long time. Shout out to American Princess. Doing it for a long time. All right. Now, I'm glad you said that, American Princess, because that's something we didn't talk about in my video today that we were supposed to. Huh? Fry wanted his retirement package, so he implicated BK. Lord have mercy. Oh, I was warned. I see you, Robin. Right, American Princess. I see you, Robin and Jennifer. All right, we got you back here. Hard truth. That's right. Now, who had the question? Now I'm lost. Let me see. Oh, the shoe size. Listen, this is what we didn't talk about in the video today about, putting the reenactments together in the house. All right. What about the footprint in the blood? That's another reason Dylan had to sign a state. Really, whatever the law enforcement told her, she had to do it because of the footprint. The FBI, they said, found the footprint, and this was blood, a latent print. Doesn't that mean blood? A latent shoe print, doesn't that mean the shoe print was in blood? So whoever left Xana and Ethan's room did leave a trail. They just didn't clean it up all the way. But it landed right there in front of Dylan's room. Maybe they put the print down in front of Dylan's room and said, okay, we got a bloody footprint right in front of your room. You need to cooperate. Or maybe down the line, something might jump off anyway. Be honest with you, something might jump off with her after the fact anyway. Because I'm just saying, I really hope Dylan is innocent of all of this. I really hope I'm wrong and a lot of other people are wrong that feel uncomfortable with Dylan's situation here. Okay, in her statement. I definitely believe that the law enforcement twisted her arm and had her, to the point where she Okay, Star Sorcerer, gifted 5 Heart Truth membership. What in the world, y'all? Shout out to Star Sorcerer. How did I miss that? I just told y'all, huh? My stuff is in front of the screen. Wow, wow, wow. Star Sorcerer. Wow, wow. Oh, my trade music. Woohoo! All right, shout out to Star Sorcerer. Absolutely awesome. Awesome move. Oh, Joe is in the house and got her foot up. Oh, okay. Shout out to Joe. Our prayers go out to Joe that the foot will be straight, will be great. The foot is great. All right. I believe Jennifer S. Dylan could have been coerced. Hello, Tolleson. I believe that. I mean, I hate to say this, and I'm supposed to be a internet sleuth. It's probably against the internet sleuth Bible to say this, but I watched a lot of movies where, movies that aren't, real life. It's fiction. To where they just typed out a statement, whatever they wanted the defendant to say, brought it in there, and once they had defended up against the wall, they told him to sign it. The defendant never even reads the paper. Oh, the apocalypse in the house. Shout out to Apocalypse. Hey, Apocalypse. So I believe you. I believe you. Thank you so much, Star Sorcerer. And Audrey Cakes, thank you. God bless all of you. You're the greatest. You're the greatest. Now listen, God only know what Tolleson pull off in this investigation at Jennifer. Well, we're getting ready to find out, and it's going to be ugly when we do. How about that one? It's going to be really, really ugly. All right, let's change the topic here quickly. Let me change my screen. Let me look at this and make sure that was everything that I wanted to cover. Because once I take it down, that's going to be it for that document. Okay. I don't want to keep going on the DNA. I really don't. I really don't, because we already know what's up with that. Lab report 25, which has been discovered, and there's another ISP lab report 11, which is pending review and approval at the lab. To assist the parties, the state has initiated specific inquiries about the status of all ISP lab reports and will make discovery to defense as appropriate. All right, so that's coming along. That's coming along just fine. And so I have to reiterate that because the DNA is not going to, at this point, it's not a part of the trial, even though it's been at the center of everything that we know about this case. We have to say, hey, we have to kind of reprogram the way we think about this, because the first conclusion that I have made in the past 2 or 3 months is that there's more than one perpetrator. Okay? I showed you this from the beginning. I'm going to show it to you again. I made this video and it was taken down. I made this video months ago. I made this video months ago. And it's still holding true. It's still holding true. I think this is it. Okay, I made this video months ago. I can't even remember the date because I think maybe they deleted it. And so this is a screenshot from that video to where I told you it's multiple perpetrators. And if this white car was really going to 1122 King Road, because we don't have any evidence of that the car going in and out of the neighborhood was actually going to the perpetrator's house. Because I know if somebody went to commit a murder, they didn't just park right there in front of the house. So the person driving in and out could have been coming in to go to somebody else's house in that same little cul-de-sac or whatever you call it, going around to like a dead end. They could have been going to visit anybody. So I said from the beginning, there are multiple perpetrators. And regardless of how many perpetrators there were, how did they get in the house? How did they get in the house? Yeah. Remember I made the video and I went around all the streets and explained the timeline, and I proved that if the driver was the person, he had to be probably the getaway driver, because he was in and out too much to be somebody planning to go post up in a house. He was in there too much. So I'm just saying, we said multiple perpetrators because, and so we still have this same problem. How did they get in the house? I know they didn't all go through a window. How did they get in the house? We have 3 options. Option number 1, somebody in the house let them in. Option number 2, they broke in through a window or something like that. And number 3, a door was open. I don't see 2 or 3 people planning to. I mean, if you plan something like this, you knew you were going to be getting in that house. Oh, who said that? They were already inside. Stop. They were already, shout out to Joe. Oh, and they knew the code. Let me put that on there. All right, Joe and JL gave 3 and 4. I mean 4 and 5. Already inside the house. I forgot. Yeah, that one. Already inside the house. That was my guess in the beginning. Already inside the house. And JL said, hold on. This is number 4. And then number 5 was JL. They knew the code to the door. Right. I was asking that. Now let's stop at that one. They knew the code to the front door. That would mean for Koberger to be the perpetrator, he would have to know somebody that's been in that house and knows the code. And by now, that person probably would have connected him to it. That person would have sang like a bird by now. For him to know. Huh? All right, Kimberly Walker, 3 plus 2. Broke in and door was unlocked. Yeah. All right. A combination of 3 and 4. Combination of, well, let me ask you this. If they were let in, who let them in? DM or Bia? Who let them in? Lucas Boyd. They might have had a key, number 6. Okay, that's sort of like having the code to the front door. All right, they had a key. Shout out to Lucas. How they left no tracks had to be skilled. Now, Elwing, your comment brings me to this right here. This point I want to make right here. This crime was planned. They didn't just decide within 30 minutes of it happening that they were going to do it. So all of this about a fight breaking out at the frat and all of this about a fight breaking out in the house, I don't believe it. Because this crime was planned. There would be enough mistakes for us to really see exactly what happened if it were spur of the moment. But the fact that there were no tracks except for the one that they didn't clean up good in front of Dylan's door. There's no tracks outside. There's no tracks outside. Have you seen a code reader? The photo. Oh, wait now. They got technology that you can pass by something and get the code. Lycurgus, you get a brain. We haven't talked about that. You know they have this technology now where you can pass by somebody and get their information out of their phone and stuff. Kelly, 1122 or 1113 in 2022 sounds ritualistic to me. That's 666. Agreed. Shout out to Kelly. Agreed. All right. I'll buy that. No tracks outside, no shower drain, no nothing. And we know that this was planned. And it is ritualistic. I mean, the fact that it was a 3-story house, they wanted it. 1, 2, 3. They were looking for something like that. I do believe, Lucas, yes, that it was skilled. Or if it was multiple people, it required less skill. For one person, it required premium skill. But 3 people, it didn't require so much of skill as 3 people getting in there and getting it done because the victims were outnumbered. All right? That cop who came to the noise call a week pre-crime threatened to call the Greek council, and that would have been a big deal to Kaylee. Did the cop take a pic of her ID with his phone too? That's Ray Annette. Shout out to Ray Annette. Anybody want to take that one? I don't know. I don't know about them taking a picture of Kaylee's ID at the noise complaint call. I don't know. Blood art culture. True. Shout out to Carly. Yeah. All right. Falsifier. Didn't the cop say on body cam, don't mess with us? Shout out, Micah. Micah Z. And they only had Xana, Maddie, and Kaylee's info and also took photos on personal phone. Yeah, I've been hearing that they were collecting information on these girls in an unofficial way. I don't know if that would necessarily connect them, but I know, yeah, they were threatening, pouring out people's drinks and stuff. I mean, yeah, I agree with all of that. But I'm saying if we get a connection between the murders and law enforcement, I don't think it's going to be through those body cams. I mean, I don't think it's going to be through anything but those body cams. Because, I mean, a lot of the stuff they were saying and doing when they were going to that house, talking to those girls, a lot of people, in their opinion, they would say that it was not appropriate. Huh? People have said that cops in Moscow do take pictures of license, but yet that cop did not take a pic of the guys when was there so strange. Okay, he's saying they taking pictures of the girls, but not the guys. That's a good point. Shout out to Lucas and Kimberly. All right. It showed law enforcement taking a pic of her ID. Esoterica is at play in every murder. There has numbers and anomalies everywhere. All right. Yes. Yes, the body cam is when they went to the men's house, then walked over to the girl's house. I believe that it was very planned. I agree, Ray and Annette. I agree. Because if it wasn't, we would have all the evidence we need, or at least 30 or 40% of it. How is it possible no blood through the house? I'm saying tracked out of the house. Nothing, no blood in the grass. No, I mean, just right there coming out of the house. No sign of kids being unalive. And you sitting here watching the person standing in the front door with the door open, and it doesn't even seem like anything happened from there. Huh? Lots of times people were there when they weren't there, so probably many people knew how to get in the house, whether hidden key or code. All right, Via River Girl. Shout out to River Girl. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. It looks like Beowulf. Beowulf. How do I say it? Beowulf. How do I pronounce the first word of your name? I don't want to keep saying it wrong. I have to use the pronunciation dictionary. All right. That's right. A lot of people knew the code, but in order for Brian Kohlberger to know the code, he had to know somebody that knew the code because they can't place him at the house. Right? How did this guy from another city get the code? He didn't live in Moscow. And so if we can't place him at the house, all right? A lot of people knowing, even Kaylee's sister talked about that. All right, so we're getting a lot of votes for the code. We might have to do a survey on that. We might have to do a survey on that. Right. JL, I mean, numerology is biblical. Well, that depends on what you consider numerology. How far into it you trying to go? Because after a while, anything can become out of order, out of, to a place where I feel doing it would grieve the Holy Spirit. If you take anything to the third and the fourth level, it's a good chance that, it's not what it was intended to be anymore, and now it's something else. But I'll leave it at that because y'all weren't talking to me. Okay. Waiting, audio, repeat. Wait, audio repeating. Who's audio repeating? I said it then and I say it now. There's no way the killers got into this house without inside info with this. Shout out to Robin. Can we agree on that? I think everybody pretty much feels the same way. Some people might believe that they broke in or whatever, but I believe they knew it. I just believe I believe they knew it. I think Diem and Bethany not knowing that this was gonna go down when people all the way in WSU knew what was going on. You mean to tell me the people right there in the house didn't know? And I just think that this Kyra Canodal and all these drugs and Dimitri and the drug street, drug this and drug that. Hey, listen to me. Drug dealers don't leave survivors right there in the house. I mean, I think we know drug dealers well enough, the drug dealer profile. We know it well enough by now. Shout out to Lycurgus. Shout out to Lycurgus. Drug dealers don't leave two female witnesses that can talk at the scene. They don't do it. They knew who was in the house. Even the PCA gives some type of explanation that the killer had to be canvassing that house for a while. Shout out to Candy Fuge. Shout out to Candy. No way drug dealers go in there and do something like that without checking every room before they leave. Before making sure they haven't left anybody behind. It probably was other places that were broken on that house that the killers could have got in. That's a good point. Didn't Daniel use numerology not in sorcery-like way to solve the meaning of the king's dreams? Well, I'm going to put a pin in that. I'm going to put a pin in that because I need to go back and read Daniel again before I speak on that and say that it's numerology. I will have to look at it, and let me see who is asking me this. Because Ray Annette, let me write that down. I probably have to answer you outside of this in the community page. Daniel and numerology. To say that it's numerology is to say that how he used it, was in a way that was just inappropriate, and we know we can't say that because he's doing what, the Lord gave him the gift to do. So I don't want to say it's numerology, Ray Annette, until I do a refresher and think about it before I speak on that. But I will speak on that, probably in the community page, all right? Put a pin in that. Sliding glass door at kitchen, broken locks, picked with red tape. They all knew what was going down, and opportunity popped off. All right? Here's a problem. Ooh, what was that? Here's the problem. I think that because this was planned and because Dylan and Bethany were left alive, they had to be involved. Because even after the fact, realizing that they left two that were, they could have gone back. They could have gone back and got Dylan and Bethany just like they could have gone back to get the knife. They didn't mean to kill Dylan and Bethany. They could have gone back and got them. They had plenty of time to go back and get them. And I don't know if Bethany or Dylan had a car. All we saw was Xana, Maddie, and Kaylee all had vehicles, and Ethan's red Jeep was there, and I think his sister's vehicle may have been there, but I don't recall that there was a vehicle there for Dylan or Bethany. So they never meant to jump in their car and drive away somewhere if they have one. It's just odd that the two that don't have a car didn't get killed. What's going on? What is going on? What is going on here? I think the two roommates were told to go downstairs and leave the premises all together and come back at a certain time. Robin Latham. Shout out to Robin. I thought the same thing, but at the same time, Robin, I thought the same thing. They told him, don't even be here. Don't even be here because you know it's going to jump off. This had to be planned. Okay? It was a big football game that weekend. They knew it was going to be a lot of people in town. They usually are not in town. And so with these activities and then the Wi-Fi going down, that was a big opportunity because everybody's distracted. Everybody's distracted. Leslie Vasquez, the devil loves to copy God. That's why he uses numbers for evil too. He does. That's why I said you have to stop and see what the specific situation is that we're talking about before you say numerology and whether it's on the good or the bad, because the devil perverts whatever is good. You know, I was raised to believe that the lottery was not right. It's not holy. The gamble. They would say, hey, they gamble with Jesus' clothes, so you don't need to be gambling. This is what they would tell us when we were growing up. And so to play a number at the lottery every day is just something we would never do because we were raised not to. And they gave us a reason. It wasn't just, wonder if I play the numbers today. We were raised not to do it. Whether it was right or wrong or not, we were raised not to gamble, to play lottery numbers. But it's legal to go and play a lottery number. So, I mean, we could be here all day talking about whether a number is numerology, a use of numbers. Everything is numerology to a certain degree. But then to a certain degree, when you start using it a certain way, it can become inappropriate. Some type of association with fortune telling and stuff like that. It can get to that point. It just depends on what it is. All right? All right, Robin said, I think the two roommates were told to go downstairs and leave the premises all together and come back at a certain time. All right, come back at a certain time. That's very interesting. Come back at a certain time. Come back at a certain time. What do y'all think about that? Come back at a certain time. Doesn't it seem like everybody posted up there at the same time? Found 100 found it real quick, and bam, it was over. Isn't that something? Shout out to Robin. Come back at the same time. And then Chief Frost said, we're not just investigating. We're not just investigating the roommates. We're investigating everybody that was in the house. Remember Chief Frost said that? He was getting mad with the young lady, the reporter that said, are the roommates suspects? And then he said, then the reporter was referring to them as witnesses. Chief Frost said, I don't think we ever said that the surviving roommates were witnesses. But here in the PCA, they're witnesses. Who does that? All right, Chief Frost said they weren't witnesses. Well, he didn't say they weren't. He just said he didn't say they were. Let me backtrack. I'm putting words in his mouth. He didn't say they weren't witnesses in that press conference, but what he was saying was he didn't say they were. So I don't know why he made her bag back from saying this, and they turned around and got both of them in the PCA as witnesses. But he got on this reporter like she said something wrong. Oh yeah, DM perhaps boyfriend Quinn, Hunter D, Ford behind Jeep. Shout out to Tony. All right. Whoa, Micah, that's crazy. I missed that. Oh, my stepdaughter used to post pics of her and her friends doing occult play. What? That is kind of weird. That is kind of weirdo. Bethany knows something. Shout out to Ray and that. I think Bethany knows more than Dylan because she's the one that they wanted to subpoena. I think Bethany, I was saying that in my video, this last video. I think Bethany knows more than Dylan because she's the one they subpoenaed. This is a death penalty case. And so Dylan is all up in the PCA, but they said, no, we want to talk to Bethany. We want to talk to Bethany. Lucas Boyd, there was a ladder leading up to Xana's window, but like the cop said, there was no ladder leading up to Kaylee's room. A strange comparison. Shout out to Lucas. I think that the ladder is just another prop. This shows you just how planned it was. I should have had the ladder on my prop page. A couple of videos back, I had a prop page with the DoorDash bag. I should have had the footprint on there too. And I should have had that ladder. Because there are certain things they just want us to see. And just, I mean, it's like they know us from the jump. They know exactly how we're going to react. And so all of these things are laid out for us to find and speculate over. Because what would, I mean, only way somebody would need a ladder if it's somebody on the second or third floor was always getting locked out, and so that was their way to get back in. But if everybody knew the code to the front door, what would they need a ladder for? Doesn't even look like they used the balcony in the back. Maddie and Kaylee. Doesn't even look like they used their balcony. I mean, the wood looks like it's almost dry rotted, and there was no furniture on it. So all the goings on happened out there on the second floor level with that sofa and the grill out there and stuff. Because Maddie and Kaylee don't, I think there was like some little dog bed, but it was on Maddie's side. The dog bed was on Maddie's side, not Kaylee's. Remember the dog bed? Let me see if I can find this dog bed. Okay, I had something else I forgot to tell you. Something else I wanted to show you when we were talking about the officers. Let me upload it right quick. I forgot. Okay, remember this? Remember this right here? It says one of the officers involved in the murder investigation interviewed witnesses at the scene and worked on the search for the car connected to the crime. Another also interviewed witnesses who are expected to testify at Kohlberger's trial. It's Dylan and Bethany. I'm just saying. It's got to be Dylan and Bethany. All of it. All of it. So one of the officers whose training is being questioned, he interviewed witnesses at the scene, and another officer interviewed witnesses who are expected to testify at Kohlberger's trial. It's got to be Dim and Bethany. It's got to be. Who else is going to testify at the trial? I'm just saying. Who was the last person to get a shout out? Lucas. Laura Smith. Shout out to Laura Smith. Hey, Laura. it's like law enforcement is making the story up as they go. JL, true. It's like they pieced it together. But what did we talk about in my video before last? Okay, with Kopaka, and how as soon as Kopaka was, assaulted, or I don't know how to say it. As soon as he was shot, I just say it like that. As soon as Kopaka was shot, just 7 hours later, they were looking for BK on the highway. It seemed like they had just got a hot tip on Brian too, because wherever they found him, that's where they were gonna roll up on him. And then they discovered that he was on his way cross country. And when the police stopped him the first time, like I said before, about 9 videos ago, when they stopped Brian, they weren't expecting Mr. Kohlberger to be in the car. Because if Mr. Kohlberger wouldn't have been with Brian, he would have been jacked up right then. God only knows what would have went down. God, they could have impounded his car, arrested him for some fake traffic violation, and that would have and then let him bond right out, and then put the DNA in his car. I mean, a lot could have went on, but by the grace of God, Mr. Kohlberger was riding with his son, because as soon as they had enough time to go in Kopaka's apartment, it seemed like right after that, that's when they were hot on Brian's trail. And I give Crime Circus credit for that video, because I'm not really interested in all that about Buddy and the collar and stuff. I mean, all of it is great information. But what stuck with me that I can't get past is how fast after Kopaka was shot, they went into his apartment, and took away the gun and secured the scene. And at some point, they went through his stuff. They saw that crazy looking shrine. And then another thing, I heard that Kopaka's young 20-year-old roommates were guys. They were boys. They weren't girls. Anybody else? All right. Laura's talking about the tunnels underneath. I've heard that too. All right. Shout out to Agape Love. Agape Love in the house. All right. They said Kopaka's roommates were guys. Do you hear that? Oh, yeah. They said that the 2 roommates were not 2 young girls. It was 2 young guys. That was a game changer for me. That was another game changer for me. They said that Kopaka's roommates are guys, folks. Now, how you like that right there? How you like that? For somebody that, could have been involved. And here I'm thinking the two roommates are, young girls. I mean, young guys, they could have helped with the crime. For some reason, I just thought that his roommates were female. I don't know why I thought that, but I did. I thought Kopaka's roommates were female. I don't know why. I did, though. I thought so. I really did. Let me see if y'all got something. Hard truth, that football game was with UC Davis, the school that guy was, an ex-student at that stabbed 5 people and killed 2 in Davis a few months ago. No, I didn't know that, Robin. Wow. Let me read that again. Shout out to Robin. That football game was with UC Davis, the school that guy was an ex-student at, that stabbed 5 people and killed 2 in Davis a few months ago. Well, what have we investigated this already? That's hot news. Did we investigate this already? I'm just saying, we didn't investigate that. I didn't know that. I'll be investigating. I'll be doing some research on that tonight. I truly will. I truly will. Because I didn't know. Or if I knew, I partially knew. Or something like that. All right, the apocalypse. The Halloween movie ends is crazy. It tells the Idaho 4 story in advance. I believe it. Shout out to Apocalypse. I believe it because it's too organized and planned. It seems like we're being mocked with some of these stories, and it's PCA. It's like they were laughing when they were writing it. This mess with DM talking about she saw somebody and he passed by and he didn't kill her. Are we stupid? We're being mocked. To tell people that somebody went and massacred 4 kids, not playing around, not shot or accidentally shot or whatever and left, but spent time making it to where these kids couldn't even hardly have a funeral. That's not funny. And then for you to be playing around talking about somebody passed by you and left out. And I think I heard Harsh say, because I watch Harsh Reality, I try to catch at least one of his videos a day. I don't always catch all of them, but I try to catch one. And he was saying the PCA does not say that the killer actually left out of the house. It just says that he went into the kitchen. Well, according to the PCA, in order for him to drive off at 4:20, he had to be leaving. Now that I will say, in order for him to be in the white car, leaving in a suspect vehicle, according to this story that we're being told, he had to be leaving at 4:17. So if he passed by her at 4:17, 4:18, he had to be leaving for him to be back in his car at 4:20 to go on down the road. And that doesn't match either, because they're saying that the car left at a fast rate of speed, but Dylan is saying the guy just walked past her, like he was on his way to get a manicure. Not a care in the world. So that doesn't match either. And I really think it's a shame because, but the truth will come out. If enough people pray, the truth will come out. Yeah. Yes. Who is that? Tony Grant. I remember that. HT, you had Opie deliver the DoorDash. Yeah, I told y'all back then there's no DoorDash driver. And boy, I had to make about 3 videos to put my point down like I wanted to. Because I kept getting so much flack from people telling me that, I'm clickbaiting and this, that. Listen. They applied for a search warrant for DoorDash December the 6th. Let me put that in the chat. Oh, wait. Let me get Tony shout out. Tony and Laura Smith. Shout out to Tony and Laura Smith. I'm telling you, the tunnels from the apartments, I think on Linda Lane or Monday Lane, I don't know, but they're closed. Is a way anyone's killers, whoever, to enter and leave with no blood tracks. That's right. Shout out to Tony and Laura. That's right. That's a messy business there. And then to have 1 footprint, there had to be others. He had 2 feet. How did 1 foot leave a print and the other one didn't? They cleaned up. So right there, we know DM and Bethany are lying because somebody cleaned that mess up. They're lying to us. And I don't think it's funny. I really don't. To sit up there and tell me that after all of this stuff happened in that house, one person did it, only one person did it, he passed by you and let you go free. It's not that much drugs in the world to where somebody said Maddie flushed $275,000 worth of drugs down the toilet. Listen, I don't believe there was $275,000 in that neighborhood if you put all the money together. I'm just being honest with you. I don't think we would, if we put all the money together that was on that street and around that neighborhood. I'm talking about cash money. Either on a card, cash, or cash. I don't think we would have came up with 275. I think if drug dealers are dealing drugs around there, they might be jumping with about 50,000 at the most at a given time. Number one, it's a very small town. It's a very small town. That's all there is that university. Some of those streets, especially the ones leading towards out of town, barely even have a business on them. So it's not that it's undeveloped, it's that, the state school is there. It's not a big town. And if she would have flushed $275,000 down the toilet, I'm just saying, why are they saying Kaylee got it worse than she did if she's the one that flushed, over $500,000 down the toilet? How is that? How is that possible? So I didn't buy those theories. I decided not to buy those theories. All right. Here's the next subject. Because I'm gonna make a survey for how did the killer get in the house. All right. Some say the ladder was used to view the crime scene. J.L. Spraggins. That sounds about right. Shout out to J.L. Now that sounds about right. Some say the ladder was used to view the crime. I would agree with that. I believe it was snuff film all the way. And I believe that it was people in there just like they were taking pictures through the bushes into the kitchen, through the window and stuff. I believe they were looking through the windows too. I believe it. 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 Cuse Bill. Oh, shout out to Cuse Bill. I believe it. I believe it. You're right. It's a joke. Something to run us down the wrong road. Bunch of garbage. Hey, Cuse. I agree the ladder was probably a prop. That's weird how the dog bed was near Maddie's room. Let me find this picture. I'm telling you, the banister is dry rotted and the dog bed is on Maddie's side, not Kaylee's. But the dog was locked up. Let me find it right quick. Cause I might already have it. Come to think of it. Might already have it. Is this it here? I better get a closer look. Yeah. Now, we're on the same page. We're on the same page. The dog bed is on Maddie's side. So, you can see it right here. And then there's another picture where you can see it even better. But you can see it here. Here's a better picture. The dog bed is on Maddie's side of the little banister back there, or whatever you call it. But it's Kaylee's dog. And Kaylee's still has stuff in her room. Because I believe I heard her dad give a comment about how there was no blood or anything on Kaylee's bed, if I'm not mistaken. Now, look at this. You can see the dog bed is on Maddie's side of the banister. So it's almost like when Kaylee came back, it was for her to stay in Maddie's room, period. And that's kind of weird because, you know, some people do suggest that they were dating or bisexual. I mean, if she came back with her dog, she must have meant to sleep in Maddie's room for the dog bed to be on that side. That's what I say. Now, what do you say? She must have just meant to come there and stay with Maddie in Maddie's room only for the dog bed to be on that side of the banister. Now, I'm interested in what you got to say about this. Why is the dog bed on Maddie's side? All right, Agape Love, Robin Latham, and that guy from UC Davis looks like that lion mask ring cam dude that was shown in many places pre-Koberger arrest. Shout out Agape. We definitely have to check into that. I think maybe my next video or close to it. Kimberly Walker. Oh my God, the ladder. I've seen all the others. Shout out to Kimberly. Okay, yeah, because I know it's a lot of mass murders that happen because of drug deals. A lot of mass murders happen because of drug deals, but guess what? They kill everybody. That's you know, unless a drive-by and they miss somebody, but if they go up in the house, everybody's going down. Kaylee became a liability. Carly Miles. Shout out to Carly and American Princess. All right, shout out to Carly, not Kaylee, Carly, and American Princess. Yep, we got to investigate that. Yeah, that looks like some basement cellar stuff. Tony Grant. Apocalypse. Kimberly Walker to a Freemason number 555 is Hiram Abuse number, and he is resurrected in initiation. Shout out to Apocalypse because we found a lot of 555 this week, didn't we? We found a lot of 555. All right. But the entrance to the balcony was through Kaylee's room, not Maddie's room. Maddie only had a window facing that balcony. Lucas boy. Shout out to Lucas. Okay, that's even more reason why the bed should be over there on Kaylee's side. That's even more reason. Shout out to Lucas. Right. Did Casey have a bed in her old room, or did she take it back with her to her parents' house? Mick Wimborne. Hello, Mick. All right. Shout out to Mick Winborn. I was under the impression, I want to believe that Mr. G said that her bed, as a matter of fact, her bed was still in there. Didn't they bring an extra bed, double bed, out of the house? Didn't they have a bed in the truck that didn't have this stuff on it? But that could have been, I believe she did have a bed in there. I believe the bed was still in there. I believe the bed was still in there. I'm thinking that she did, her dad said her bed was in there and there was nothing on it. Unless I'm mistaken, or whoever said Mr. G said that, he didn't say it. Oh, super sticker, Q's Bill. So much bogus information fed to us. Cheers. Cheers to Q's Bill. Thank you. Thank you so much for the $2 super sticker. Listen, let me tell you something. I think all the information is bogus, and we're definitely being fed. All right, cheers, Q's. Thank you. I'm telling you, all of it is being fed to us. That's just, honestly. Steve G said he knows she at least started out sleeping in her room because the covers were turned down that night. Right. Shout out to Robin. I thought Mr. G was talking about her bed. Her bed was still in there. I thought so. It's been a long time since I had that information. But I believe he was talking about Kaylee, her bed. He certainly was. He certainly was. All right. Now, let me see what else I had on my list. Because we had a lot to, I think that was it. Right. I wanted to talk a little bit more about the fact that we already agreed that it's multiple perpetrators. We already agreed to that. All right. But why? Why are multiple people in the house doing this? And I think one big problem is the motive. Why are people doing this? Somebody please tell me. Other than ritual or the occult, how can it be explained the way it went down? Why? Carly Miles, her bed was there, but she had it up for sale. Okay, somebody did have a bed up for sale. Who was that? I thought, let me see, who else had a bed up? Was it Zella that had a bed up for sale? Was it Zella? That's right. That's right. Shout out to Carly. That's right. Her bed was there. Cause I remember her dad talking about her bed. It's just been a long time since I reviewed that information. I think the KG had gotten into bed, then Murphy was aroused. KG went to check and decided to go to the bathroom, and she heard something and said someone's in the house and went to save her friend, Tony Grant. That's a popular opinion. That's a popular opinion. Shout out to Tony that the girls were in separate rooms and she just went to check on her friend. That's all. Whoa, Diddy gifted 5 Heart2 memberships. That's insane. You guys are flying high tonight. Woo! Let me give you my train thing. Woohoo! All right. Thank you. Thank you. Q's Bill, Denny. Thank you. Thank you. That's wonderful. Our little group is growing. It's growing at a fast rate. I'm completely content with the progress. I don't think I could handle it if it was, a little more. It's already a little overwhelming at times. So I think if it was moving any faster or much faster, I might have to get some help, really, with my technology and stuff. Because as of right now, I make all my own videos. Every video that I post, I made it. Every part of it, the thumbnail, the video, everything, I did it. And so I'm just saying, it could be overwhelming if you have all of these viewers and stuff to look after, and it's just you. So I think the size of the channel now is really good. And I mean, I don't have any choice. Every time I have a live, my members just start showing love to everybody. They just start showing love to everybody. And next thing you know, here comes new members. And then they turn out to be very nice people. And so, I mean, I'm grateful to everybody. I'm excited because I enjoy doing this. And although the technology, it gets challenging sometimes. And sometimes my Mac will start acting like you trying to do too much now. You need to, either do one thing or the other. It sticks with me. I got a couple backup things here in case I have to use them. And I think I'm built for this. And so whenever you guys come and join and post and stuff, I appreciate it. The people who donate, I appreciate it. It's helping keep everything going. Okay? And so I really, when I say thank you, I mean it. I mean it. All right? I mean it from the bottom of my heart, because a lot of you have been with me from the start, and even those that weren't here just from day one, once you came on, you stuck with me and give me some good supporting words, kind words, to where I really want to keep going. All right? And so it's just getting better. I think we're looking better. I think the thumbnails are looking better. A lot of stuff is looking better. And we just got to keep working at it. All right? I see. Let's start. Let me see back here. All right? Again, thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, Tony Grant. I know I sure appreciate a channel I can speak without being told how to speak. Hey, that's hard truth only now, because in Shekinah glory, I'll get you. But this channel here, we just pretty much let everybody say whatever, because it's a free country. If you don't agree, it's fine, because sometimes the people who say stuff that's total opposite to the theories that we have, it makes us think, and it forces us to prove that what they're saying is not true, to hold on to our theory that we've already built. Okay, so all of it is good. And some people are just online being nasty to other people because they're in an unfortunate situation. They had a bad day, or somebody's pissed them off or whatever. So you just never know. Sometimes it's hurtful, but majority of the time, I just take it as somebody having a bad day, or somebody that's just evil, and they do that to everybody, and that's their job, to come around and make somebody feel like they're about 5 inches tall. And so I just tell them thank you and let them keep moving. That's it. Thank you for watching. I mean, you did give me a view. Even whatever you call me and whatever you trying to accomplish, you did give me a view, and you did post a comment. It's people that don't insult me that won't even do that. So, I'm just saying, it's all good. That's what I mean. It's all good. Now, where are we in this discussion? Because I think I had a point that I didn't cover, and that we were talking about the officers. We finished that. And then there was one question on the last video. I can't remember. Let me see. How he got in. How long did it take him to get in? And what was number 3? How did he get in? How long did it take him to get in? And I think the last one was Dylan not hearing what happened. being up under Maddie and Kaylee and it didn't happen. All right, so let me see where my notes are then. Now let's see. Lucas Boyd, thanks for being that open. God bless you. All right, you're welcome. All right, we love the First Amendment and hard truth. First Amendment, Stephanie. Shout out to Stephanie. Shout out to Stephanie and Lucas. All right. All right. We know we got the UK in here. We know we got Scotland in here. Do we have any Canadians in here tonight? Anybody from South Africa tonight? It broadens your horizons and opens your mind. All right. Thank you, Laura. Now, I'm just saying, here is, I think, going to be my final question. And I want your best answer. Can I put an article in here? I'm not sure, Micah. You probably can. I don't know. I think you can post a link, yeah? I believe you can, sure. Now, the last part, this is a question I want to know. I think we went over that one. Okay? So, I don't know about you, but when I look at the evidence, I could believe one thing, except for something over here makes me say, no, I still can't accept it because of that. And then once I can kind of accept what they said about this over here, then I have to look at something over there and say, well, it can't be that either. You know? So I want to believe what the police are telling me, but it's just too much. It's too much. And so let's say that by some long shot in heaven and hell, Brian Kohlberger did it and he's the only perpetrator. What would that say about him at this point? What if Brian Kohlberger was the perpetrator and he was the only perpetrator? I'm saying hypothetical speculation. What would that mean right now? What would that mean if Brian actually was the perpetrator and he was the only one? There wasn't anybody helping him. He came in on his own. What would that mean? He's screwed. Shout out to Robin. I'll tell you the truth. Well, he is. Now, if Brian Kohlberger admits that, I'm not gonna say admits. If Brian Kohlberger says on record that he knows Kopaka, does that mean he's guilty? I'm gonna put that in the chat. All right, if he knows Kopaka, does that make him guilty? Who said that? Denny. The police ran a bad investigation and there's a good chance that the killer will walk. It is. And that's scary because as much as we say it's not Brian, we can't say that 100%. But 9 times out of 10, we won't. This case is not going to make it to a trial. right. All right. And then I got two people that said no. Elwin and Mick said no. I asked the question, if Kohlberger knows Kopaka, does that make them guilty? They said no. Well, let Crime Circus, the way he put it out there, the relationship between Kopaka and BK all the way from Pennsylvania, and the fact that they jumped on Brian as soon as they left Kopaka's apartment, pretty much they're saying that if there's a connection, there has to be, well, something to it, in other words. Leslie Vasquez, Dylan was cleaning for hours, I believe. She said Dylan was cleaning for hours. Shout out to Leslie. Leslie Vasquez. Yeah. Where's Leslie? It's me. He is a quick, bushy eyebrow ninja, is what that means. Yes, it does. Shout out to Lucas. He had to be a quick something, almost like a snake or something that moves really quick, darting back and forth, to be able to get this done in that amount of time. He's in the wrong profession if he did it. What's the red stains on the corner of balcony at Madison's window? Hi, Tammy. Shout out to Tammy. Tammy Corson. I thought that too, but that tree that's next to the balcony, it sheds those red flowers, and they look like blood. The tree next to the balcony, it sheds those little red flowers. I'm just saying, I for some time stopped believing anything they've told us. The DNA thing is the shoddiest thing. No to knowing Brent. I can't imagine Brian pulling all of this off. Me either. Me either, Cuse Bill. Shout out to Cuse Bill. I can't see it. I cannot see Brian Kohlberger committing these crimes in 10 minutes. Give him 10 or 15 minutes. I can't see him doing it. I mean, I just can't see it. I can't see it. You have to know what you're doing to go in somebody's house, knowing it's full of people. And there's a chance that somebody else in the house, what if somebody in the house has a knife? They had to know that whoever did it had to know that when they came inside, they were not going to be met with any risk or any resistance. All right, they said that Shrine with Buddy's leash on that sword was the other roommates. What if Brian and the other guy, the roommate, know each other? I don't know, but that's another thing we haven't been able to find a connection. Just like we've been trying to find a connection between Kohlberger and the victims, they're all victims. We've also been trying to find a connection between him and Brian. Just like we've been trying to find a link between him and the girls. And we can't do it. And Ethan, we can't do it. We haven't been able to find a connection between this guy and any of them. And that's a problem. By now, somebody would have said something. Somebody would have said, hey, we gave that guy the front door code. That was terrible, the dog bed by Maddie's room. It really is. That's not a good look, that the dog bed is on Maddie's side. Oh, Laura Smith. Oh, woo! That's You get a brain for that. Do y'all see that? Ooh, I need to make a video. I think I got this wrong. I said Laura Smith. Now that's it right there. That would be crazy. What if Brian Kopaka, let me find it again. I got to give you a quote on that. What if Brent Kopaka comes out of witness protection to testify on Brian and he's not dead? Oh. What if? What if Kopaka really wasn't swatted? What if he's in witness protection and he's going to be a witness? Is that possible? Yes. Yep. It certainly is, because his family sure did go along with that obituary with they didn't contest a thing they said. They were like, well, yeah, he had PSTD and yeah, PSDBT, and he had all of it. But he was a beautiful man. They went along with it. They didn't get out in public saying, hey, they shouldn't have done this or that. They didn't contest a word of it. They just went right along with it and said, hey, he really didn't have that problem. Well, what was he doing with a gun? If you got PTSD, especially a veteran, you're not supposed to have a gun. You're not supposed to have a gun. Well, they sure went along with it, I tell you that much. They certainly did go along with it. No questions asked. Step right up, step right up. Now, there was also talk about the meat truck. Opie has a meat truck. Remember Opie? So to me, not only is he military, which fits the knife, he also has a meat truck. I agree, Micah. Shout out to Micah. I agree. What if he's in witness protection and he's not deceased? What if? I mean, what would he be telling? What would he tell on Kohlberger? That both of them were in on it. Maybe he told his side. Jack D, the future he was facing on his own without Kaylee, the dog moving forward. Something to think about. This was highly debated before BK was arrested. Cuse Bill. All right, shout out to Cuse. He's saying Jack D. He was a mechanical engineer. And he looked like a mechanical engineer too. I don't think that... I get the feeling that Jack D is kind of not on either side of the fence when it comes to most things. He's probably not a very eventful person outside of, the norm or whatever. That's the impression I get, but I could be wrong. I keep hearing it too. I guess I shouldn't be saying it if I can't prove it, AP, but what was he doing living in an apartment so close to school that all college kids lived in? All right, shout out to Robin. And he was living with two young boys. They were 20 from what I heard. Let me see. I had it sitting up somewhere, the picture. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here it is, right here on Reddit. All right, give me a minute and I'll put it up. I was kind of surprised. This is not what I had in mind. And this was posted on Reddit 4 months ago. I'm trying to post it up on the screen. All right, here it is. All right, here it is. This was posted 4 months ago by Long Jumping C 1173. And it says, I've since learned the names of his roomies, young male students in their 20s, but I cannot find any trace of them online. I am not a stalker or plan to do anything with it. I just merely wanted to see if they follow KMXE. I feel like 20-year-old students would probably know them more than a 37-year-old man would. Just wanted to see if the drug angle was true and maybe Kopaka could have been introduced this way. Why is a man of that age crashing with students anyway? My search has been fruitless. I'm wondering if they exist. All right, what do you guys say about that post? Huh? Now you see that? You're in that Reddit sub. What, Stephanie? What? Okay, so what's your take on it, Steph? Maybe Kapaka CA Black Ops. Well, according to Crime Circus, he on disability. Crime Circus posted this video 3 days ago. It was very interesting. Brian Koberger and Brent Kopaka connections. Yes, that's the one we're talking about, Mick. That's exactly the one. This is the one we're talking about. The one where he had the shrine. The Mick Winborn, the video that you are referring to is the one that we're talking about. Or have been talking about. And according to Crime Circus, now he said that Kopaka was on disability. I'm not saying this is concrete. This is what he came up with, his research, not me. Now, this is what he said. I don't know for sure. And then on one part of it, he said something about signing the back of his disability check. So I think he knows for sure. I'm just saying, he said Kopaka was on disability. So that doesn't mean that he couldn't be doing work for the government. I'm just thinking maybe he was a little too out of it to do it. I mean, he seemed emotional. He had a lot of crazy stuff posted online and stuff. Not crazy is insane, but I'm just saying weird. I think he was over the edge by the time he got out of the service. And that's bad because once these veterans come home, you're still responsible for them. The government. You know, you need to take care of your veterans. I'm just saying. It's no use of having all these big billboards telling people to join and be all you can be, and you want people to join the military, but look how you treat the veterans. Look how many homeless veterans there are. How many veterans that need medication for, mental issues. Look at how many there are. So anybody in the government, federal government watching this, please do a little more for your veterans. Honestly, it's a boatload of them around here that don't know Monday from Thursday. And some of them walk the street talking to themselves and stuff. Y'all responsible for these people. And so I don't know what happened to where this guy had to be gunned down, who he was threatening. All I'm saying is that was a veteran. Don't get me started. That's how I ended up making that video on Monica with the pig farm. I was upset because of how they treat people, that serve this country. And a lot of this violence that's going on here is just the residue of letting somebody go blast whoever they want to for a year or two. Psych-ops does not necessarily mean a crime didn't take place. Any of the variables can be true or false. Well, maybe you can shout out to JL. Maybe you can give us some insight into this psych-ops, because that's a lot of people's theory. That's a lot of people's theory. And I really don't have as much information on the psych-ops as I should. This is a recent video that I mentioned. I think Crime Circus added information. So Mick is saying after this video where he's talking about the blue dog collar and stuff, he made some excellent points. Like I said, the one that's sticking with me right now that I cannot shake is how fast they went after Brian after this guy was gunned down. That sticks with me. That's something I didn't really put a lot of weight or put a lot of anything on until he said that. All right, we just buried my 52-year-old cousin. He was an Army vet, was in Desert Storm. He ended his tour 6/29/23. Okay, well, what did he die from? Lori. Shout out to Lori. What did he die from? Also on video that no evidence of bullet holes outside apartment as well. Got that on camera. That's right, Stephanie. Shout out to Stephanie. No, some people were saying, they had guns and knives and this or that. Well, I don't see any evidence of that. I don't see any evidence of that. So I don't know what to tell you on that one. I really don't know. But I would like to know about these psych-ops. CIA has two methods they often use: let it happen or make it happen. Okay, all right, that's lesson number 1. We never seen bodies leave that house. True, I haven't. Anyway, suicide. All right, Lori. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm very sorry to hear that. I just feel like we have to take responsibility for the veterans. All of them. Because, I don't even know how to describe. It's a part of society. It's a part of society that is neglected. The homeless people in LA, Los Angeles, California over there, the sidewalks are filled with homeless people, and so many of them are veterans until they're buying tents and just living on the sidewalk. And it's so many of them are veterans. Now let me go back to this right here. Tony Grant, kind of hard to deprogram killers. I would imagine, and that stuff they did in the 60s, MK Ultra. I'm 62 years old, and I thought they made that up. It happened. And BK's father was arrested at 17 for car theft. All right, shout out to Tony. And this is new information. That Michael Kohlberger was arrested for car theft. I guess the apple don't fall too far from the tree. All right, one's stealing the phone and one's stealing the car. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. He had PTSD too. Brilliant PhD college instructor. Wow. Good source. Praetorian Guard by John Stotwell. They claimed first that he was holding them in the apartment. Then they supposedly just walked out of the place. So that doesn't match what they said. Then sometime later, they took him out. All right? Shout out to Q Spill. That's really bad. It makes me sad to talk about it. Just like with the girls and Ethan at 11:22. It just really gives you a bad feeling, a bad taste in your mouth. A really bad taste in your mouth. You explained in logic to me how the hell a knife sheath does not have any trace of blood on it if it was under her body. Shout out to Micah. I have a question about that. Okay, is it confirmed that there was no blood on the sheath? Is that confirmed? Do we have evidence one way or the other? A statement or anything? Do we? May he rest in peace, Lori. What did he teach? Right. What did he teach, Lori? R.I.P. PhD college instructor. R.I.P. All right, let's see where we're at. All right, he taught history. Well, they just said single source DNA. Yeah. So that means there could have been Maddie's blood on there, or I don't know. That's another one where I have to say I don't know. Yeah, I have to say I don't know on that one. All right, we got time to take one more, do one more question. And I think for the last question, let me see if there was a question that wasn't answered from the last one. Because I think we're doing really good adding new information and, as they would say, squaring it away. All right, and so, Now, what did I do with the notes? According to the PCA page 2. Okay. Now, we already know that Brian Kohlberger's arrest is not going to make any difference. His arrest for stealing his sister's phone is not going to make any difference as far as the trial. Basically, nobody cares. The type of crime that it was, the fact that it was between him and his family members, and the fact that he got off with some first-time offenders program, being arrested for stealing Amanda's phone or his other sister, that's not going to have any bearing on the case. All right, so I don't think we need to take time talking about that. Now, my last question is, I think we were going back with motive. And the motive that I'm going with is ritual, occult, perhaps some worship undertones. I'm going with ritual. That's the motive for me. I just right. Phone thieves don't equal murderers. I agree. Because it's just two totally different types of crime. It's not gonna do any good. Now, one interesting thing that I did find was this lady that lives in Georgia that added to Kohlberger's father's tree. I think, oh, excuse me. I think that she rather, is invested in helping the prosecution's case. Because what are the odds? What are the odds that somebody is going to, how should I say it? What are the odds that somebody's going to add information to Michael Kohlberger's family tree 4 days after his son is arrested? Huh? That'll be our last discussion. I know it's getting late. I know some of y'all really have something else to do, or maybe even want to get a little sleep. And so this is going to be our last topic. I'm trying to type it in the chat. What are the odds? And I would like to have your opinion on this. Now, what are the odds that somebody would be adding information to Michael Kohlberger's family tree January 4th, 2023, 4 days after his arrest? 4. I thought it said January 5th, but the actual sharing happened on January 4th. Good gosh, $270,000 home should come with more than one trash can. Agreed. Shout out to Lori. Erwin, what do you keep retracting up there? Okay, shout out to Lori. All right. Let me find my little. What are the odds? I personally was shocked to find that somebody was adding to these people's tree. And it seems to me that she has some connection to the Kohlbergers. No, I don't think so. Or she could have been. She could be. But not from what I saw. She got online store selling a bunch of stuff. A little cheapy stuff. That's a good question, Elwing. Let me write that down. Shout out to Elwing. That's a good question. I never looked to see. From what I did look and see, I would say no. But come to think of it, I can't rule that out. I saw the online store. It seemed like they were in, yeah, it is. It is. In fact, let me give you a brain, Elwin. Because I didn't even think to check for that. You know what? Wow, that's a great question. That is a great question. All right. Yes, this entire thing, all the way from the movie before to the football game, the day of, and the murder in between, all ritual, high ritual. I agree, Apocalypse. All right. I agree. Shout out to Apocalypse. I agree. I agree. I have to agree. It's ritual. It's too much. The absence of blood, but yet they're telling us there was so much blood. There's so much blood, but then there's an absence of blood. You know, sort of like an oxymoron, or I can't think of the word. Some type of symbolism. What they call it in literature. I don't want to say irony. Uh, what would you same thing is like to be or not to be? There's so much blood at the crime scene they reported, but then again, we don't have any blood evidence, you know, to judge from as far as somebody tracking it out the front door, the back door, or out one of the windows. We don't have it. All right. The wall that does have the blood evidence doesn't have a window. All right. I have been saying for months, a lot of feds come out of Pennsylvania. Most are loners as a result of their jobs and would appear weird and antisocial from what I have read on the subject. That's very interesting too. Shout out to Agape Love. All right, all right. Foreshadowing. Stephanie Elazar. Shout out to Stephanie. That's one of them I was looking for. That's one of them. We definitely had a foreshadowing. I can think of a few things that would fall into that. All right, the Wi-Fi being dimmed off, the Wi-Fi being turned off at what, 11 o'clock? That's foreshadowing. You know, those kids in the field. I mean, it's a lot of stuff that's pointing to something was getting ready to happen. You know, people running around in the back of the body cam. The girls on the Twitch feed at the grub truck. That's foreshadowing. It's a lot of things just pointing to something ominous is getting ready to happen. And here are our victims, one by one. Okay, I read a news column that all these FBI agents were there in Moscow before the murders for drug reasons. Oh, yeah, I heard that too, Robin. Shout out to Robin. Yeah, I did. I heard that. Conundrum. Lori, that's another good one. Just a minute. Okay, we got shout out to Robin. Okay, we got Brits in here. I know they know about this literature. Right? Now, I think everything is a conundrum. The absence of blood is definitely a conundrum. And let's see what else we can say. I would say the fact that Dylan and Bethany are still alive is a conundrum. Wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say? Okay, a conundrum, let's look it up. A confusing and difficult problem or question. A confusing or a dichotomy. Lycurgus, all right. Shout out to Lycurgus. We got some smart people in here. We got some smart people in here. Very smart. All right. All right. Where's the dichotomy? Let's see if we can find that. If we're looking at this in terms of maybe a snuff film and symbolism. We could look for these literary elements as clues, and props, just like we've been doing. All right, a dichotomy. Let me look that up for you. A division or a contrast between two things that are or are represented as being opposed or entirely different. Right? So the blood evidence is a dichotomy. Okay? It qualifies for just about everything. Be honest with you. All right. Could these murders have been college frat prank based on the Scream movie, which got way out of hand when the girls fought back? Kaylee and Maddie was perhaps intoxicated also. Shout out to Lucas. Now, that's a good question, and this is my response. If we believe that there's an occult or ritualistic undertones to this, we can't rule out the Scream movie. I've been hearing about 2 movies that have plots that came out just before the murders. We can't rule out that, this was a reenactment of one of those movies. We can't rule it out. So the Scream movie, I've heard that one, and wasn't one Halloween movie, or I'm not sure what the name of it is. We cannot rule out that somebody was trying to reenact one of those movies, because it's got those undertones, and that is undeniable. You cannot deny it. You cannot deny that they had occult and religious undertones in this whole situation. Huh? Yeah, you still got to check out friend requests. Okay, what you mean by that? I'm not sure, Tony, but I'll give you a shout out. All right. Now, or flat out lie by law enforcement. True. I agree that Demon being alive is a conundrum. It sure is. Shout out to American Princess and Elwing. All right. We talked about a lot of stuff in the videos, and I just want to make sure we're on the same page with at least 1 or 2 things. All right, Mr. G and his hex. Yep, we talked about that. I found 555 and Freemasons to be associated with hex and hexagon, and Apocalypse had paradox, another good one. Shout out to Apocalypse, another good one. Paradox, yeah. All these wonderful words to describe the fact that so many people got hurt, and the crime scene doesn't show anything but a jack-in-a-box bag. I mean, come on, man. Show us some love. The Amityville Horror, right? That's right. College students get caught up in snuff film. We're rich. People pay for the film on the dark web. The main character is framed for the murders of his friends. Friend request 2019. Got it. I see what you're saying about the friends request. All right. Thank you for explaining. And that's a shout out to Tony Grant and J.L. Spriggans. Right. When I made snuff film, explains a lot of stuff. I really feel like that could have been a camera recording in the woods. It could have been somebody up in the window on the ladder looking in, filming. They might have been observing, or they might have been filming. Remember JL brought up the ladder? Could have people were watching what was going on from outside. They could have been filming, helping make the snuff film. You got to have different perspectives on the film, right? You can't just feel from the back the whole thing. Somebody's gotta get some shots panning in from other angles. That's really scary and sick to even think that that's what this house, they felt this house was good for. That's really sick that that's what their mind felt that this house was good for. It's 3-story, plenty of girls up in there that's gonna be screaming and scary. You know, maybe they. I just don't know. I just it's so much that we still need information on, and I believe by July the 14th, we're gonna have more information, and we'll be able to make more intelligent decisions. All right. Okay, it's going on 11:30, so I'm thinking I'm gonna make a few announcements, and then unless you all have questions or some things that you want to talk about, we're going to adjourn, and then as usual, I will post the live for next week. It's always until further notice. The lives will always be on Thursday, 8:45. Always. Okay, so that's unless no. If I might add a live eventually, but for now I think Thursdays are good. You guys come in real strong on Thursday night, and it doesn't seem to be conflicting with the regular channels that you've probably been watching for years, you know, a long time, and you catch them at a certain time during the week, during the weekend, Friday and Saturday. So, you know, I think Thursday is good for now. Okay, we have the Chicago Glory channel going a little bit, world news. I'm going to be reporting on some things going on in South Africa, Cape Town. You know, the elections are coming up over there, and a lot of people are up in the air and pretty much basing their election opinions on what's going on with the electricity. So I'll be covering the load shedding and the coverage of the South African elections. I've already started actually with one video, but just in case you're interested, you know, I'll be picking up with that in the next few days. All right, that's the World News, Hard Truth World News channel. All right, I moved my Russia stuff over there, and the topic of this series here is the South Africa, the election that's coming up, and the crisis with the load shedding. Okay, that's a problem. That's a big problem. To turn people's electricity off at night, all night, to save, you know, the light and the load. That's insane. So I want to catch the elections, and like I said, that's if anybody's interested in the politics over there. I know I have some South African viewers, whether they're in here tonight or not. I have a number of them, and so I talk to them sometimes, and I really kind of got the sentiment of what's going on, of how the people feeling right now. So I definitely want to continue to speak on that. And although my world news channels don't get that many views compared to the hard truth, it's all right. It's for a special group of people, and so that's why I do it. All right, let's see. College students get caught up in snuff film with rich people. Okay, we did that. All right. You are all awesome, and let's crack this together. That's right. Shout out Micah. That's right. We have eliminated a lot of theories and a lot of speculation in this group right here. We've come a long ways. We've had a lot of different theories, and some of what we came up with in the beginning is still standing true. Be honest with you. I'm just saying, it's still holding true. A lot of stuff we said months ago about the case is still standing up. Oh, thank you for the live, Hard Truth. All right, thank you. I had a shout out to, let's see, who is that? Agape. Thank you for the beautiful post. All right, so we're going. That's right. That's right. We got a lot of love coming through the chat right now. I love all you guys. Thanks for being here tonight. Thank you, Robin, for being an awesome moderator. All right. Much love to you and Stephanie. Let's see. Now, thank you so much for gifting the memberships. That puts us up to probably about 40 members. And so I'm asking those of you who are members to try to make the next member meeting, which will be next Wednesday. I think I moved it from Tuesday to Wednesdays. I did. All right, on Wednesdays at 12 or 1 o'clock, 1. If you're a member, try to make it, even if it's only for maybe about 30 minutes. Okay, and so those are members only meetings held on Wednesdays between 12 or 1 o'clock. So if you're a member, please try to make it, because a lot of valuable information and planning is put into those members only meetings, not only talking about the cases, but several things. And we get together as a group, like a little family. Okay, so it's not just it's not just more blah, blah, blah on what happened in Moscow. That's not what it is. We do talk about the cases and stuff, but like I said, we talk on a personal level also. And that's another reason I keep it locked as members only, because it's personal things being discussed. It's not for everybody to hear. All right, so if you're a member, please, give thought to, maybe if you can, try to make the meeting on Wednesdays. All right. Okay, thank you, love you all. We love you too, JL. Thank you so much for coming, JL. Let's give you a shout out. Thank you so much. Okay, Laura LA, wow, gifted a Hard Truth membership. Thank you, Lori. Thank you so much, Lori LA Northrop. That's another member. I tell you the truth. Okay, Lori, thank you so much. And you guys, when you get these memberships and you don't know who gifted it, 9 times out of 10, just look on the member list, because it's usually our members that do it. It's usually our members. And maybe I'll start giving away memberships. I just really need to learn how to do some of this stuff. Y'all are making moves I don't even know how to make. And, I just started the channel. I don't know. But thank you, thank you, thank you for everything. For those that still donate on Cash App and PayPal, every once in a while I do get donations. I don't get them every day, but every once in a while I get donations, and it helps. Trust me, it helps. And so I have my donation information up on the community page. And let's see if I have a browser up to post it here. I don't know. It's gonna take me a minute, but I'll post it here. So if you would like to donate, that would be great. I may take a vote on if people would rather have Venmo. I was thinking about getting a Venmo account. I don't know if that would be making for other people, especially if you're out of the country. If you're in other countries, let me know if Cash App and PayPal are not good for you. And if so, what payment method is better for you to participate in the super stickers and donations and stuff? Just let me know, because some people might not want to use Cash App or PayPal. I'm not sure what the hot payment method is in the UK. I thought it was PayPal, but I don't know. So if I need to get a Venmo account, just let me know. I don't want to do it if hardly no one uses it, because it's mostly a middle-aged crowd here. If you don't want Venmo, I'm not going to open it. But if it's easier for you to participate, you know, and shopping stuff with Venmo than PayPal and Cash App, let me know. All right, I found the stuff, so I'm going to post that. And for those of you that have been coming and posting and viewing videos and liking videos, thank you very much. It's all sharing and giving. All of it is sharing and giving. All of it is. And I thank you so much. All right, this is the information I got from the community tab for donations. And also, I'm going to put this in the chat. Let me know if I need Venmo, because I don't know if I need it. I guess that's how you spell it. Just let me know if I need to accept it. If I have a lot of people that use it and they don't use other stuff, I'll get it. But if only 2 or 3 people say, well, you know, I'd rather you accept Venmo, I'm not sure if that's enough. But we'll see. I just have this on my list because I see a lot of other channels do. All right. I'm fading. Blessings to all. See you on the next one. Good night. Night night, JL. Night night. And sweet dreams. Sweet dreams. Let me find. Let me see. Sweet dreams. All right. Good night. Okay. And so let's see. If anybody has any questions, I think the moderators here have put my email address in the chat, but I'll put it here for you. Okay, here's the email. Feel free to send case information, questions, and whatever. That is the channel email. Now, I think that's everything. Thank you. Thank you for watching and subscribing and everything you do. Thank you for everything. You guys are the greatest. And I think I've got all of this order of business. And like I said, I am glad to accept the articles and things and videos that you send. Just keep them coming. It's really great. Sometimes I do find stuff in there that I can use with my videos and stuff and ideas. So keep those coming. Keep those coming. Now, it is about 11:40, so I'm going to leave the chat open for another 10 minutes so that you all can reread some of the comments, do whatever, and I will talk to you on tomorrow, which is Friday, July the 7th, and God bless.